It's time for me to deliver the goods. It's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage. It is operation number 700 for the Renegades of Puck. That's right, it is show number 700 for the Renegades of Puck. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves fourth place in the Central Division after 39 games played. They have a record of 19, 14, and 6. 44 points has them 3 points behind the third place Minnesota Wild. And the third place Minnesota Wild are the automatic qualifying spot for a playoff position. Not too bad at the 39-game mark, considering where this team was after the first month of the season. The Nashville Predators are 9 points behind second-place Winnipeg, and they are 10 points behind first-place Dallas. Taking a look below the Nashville Predators, in fifth place and sixth place, Colorado and St. Louis, respectively, each with 43 points. The St. Louis Blues have played 41 games, though. That is 3 more than Colorado, 2 more than Nashville. The Arizona Coyotes are in seventh place in the Central Division. They have 31 points overall, 13 points back of Nashville, and Chicago bringing up the basement of the Central Division, only 24 points on the season and 20 full points behind the Nashville Predators. Now back to the Nashville Predators on the road, where they are currently in the middle of a 5-game road streak. 10-8-3 on the season is their road record. They've scored 111 goals. They've given up 115. The goal differential of -4 is as close as it has been since ultimately the first few games of the season. So for the Nashville Predators, they are on game 4 of 5 on this road trip. They have won 4 games in a row, going back to when they were still playing at Bridgestone Arena, now taking care of Carolina, taking care of Washington, and most recently taking care of the Ottawa Senators. Full game recap coming up on that in a matter of moments. Now, time to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then Thursday we'll be closing out the 5-game road trip in Montreal against the Montreal Canadiens. Saturday at home against Buffalo, on the 16th at home versus Calgary at Bridgestone Arena, the 17th versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the 19th back on the road to take on the St. Louis Blues. It's the first of 2 meetings between the Nashville Predators and Toronto Maple Leafs this season. The next meeting will take place at Bridgestone Arena, and it won't take place until March the 26th. Now, taking a look at the Leafs and their record, they're off to a very, very good first half of the season. 25-9-7 overall, 57 points. That's best for second in the Atlantic Division. 11-3-4 is their home record, a +33 goal differential. Now, let's take a look at their most recent stretch of hockey. Let's go back 5 games. Go back to last year, or at least New Year's Eve. 6-2 victory at Colorado, following that up after the New Year's break on the 3rd of January with a 6-5 shootout loss versus the St. Louis Blues. On the 5th of January, a 5-1 loss versus Seattle. On the 7th of January, a 4-1 win versus Detroit. And most recently on the 8th, a 6-2 victory at Philadelphia. Murray got the victory in net, 34 out of 36. Now, taking a look at the matchup and taking a look at the NHL rankings between these two teams, some highly impressive statistical metrics for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it starts with goals for 3.44 per game, 7th best in the NHL. And while the Nashville Predators offense has been surging as of late in their last 10 games, still that number is lagging behind considerably, only 2.79 goals per game. That is 26th in the NHL. But again, that offense has been surging in this last stretch of games. Goals against, this may surprise you, but the Toronto Maple Leafs are third best in the NHL, only giving up 2.61 per game. The Nashville Predators giving up 2.92 per game is 14th best in the NHL. In shots for, Toronto leads in this metric, 17th best in the league, generating 31.7 shots on net per game, while the Nashville Predators are generating 30.7 shots on net per game. That is good for 20th in the NHL. When it comes to shots against, highly impressive metric here by the Toronto Maple Leafs, 5th best overall in the league, only giving up 28.5 shots against per game, while the Nashville Predators are giving up 34.2 shots per game. That is 29th in the NHL, and yes, when you give up 60-plus shots, that's going to skew your shots against category for quite some time. Special teams, it's no surprise to see the Maple Leafs are 8th best in the power play in the NHL, converting at 25%, 33 out of 132 times as the raw data on that. The power play for the Nashville Predators is 28th in the NHL, converting 17.3% of the times, 23 out of 133. Now, on the penalty kill, the Nashville Predators are ahead in this statistical metric, 13th best in the NHL, and as of late, their penalty kill has been doing a very good job out there. 80.2% kill rate, had given up 27 power play goals against on the season. The Leafs have given the same number of power play goals against on the season, but their kill rate is 78.6%. That puts them at 16th overall in the NHL. When it comes to the Maple Leafs team on the side of the ledger and the individual statistics, it's almost mind-blowing to see how many players are having such good and consistent seasons at this point compared to the other side of the ledger, the visiting Nashville Purse. So let's start with the home team, Toronto Maple Leafs. In this matchup, Marner leads the team in scoring, 15 goals, 34 assists. At 34 number, leads the team in assists, 49 overall points. Second on the team in scoring, Matthews, 20 goals and 27 assists for 47 points. Nylander at 22 goals, that leads the team in total goals, plus 23 assists equals 45 points. Tavares at 19 and 21 for 40, so you have 4 players at 40 points or more, and then you go down to Bunting at 13 and 16 for 29 points. And I wanted to go one more line down just to make this notation. Calle Jarnkrok, 9 goals and 11 assists on the season for 20 points with the Toronto Maple Leafs. In net, 2 very solid and good options. Mentioned that Murray got the last start and the last win against the Philadelphia Flyers. His record on the season now 10-4, 2 and 916 save percentage, 2.57 goals against average. Samsonov, 12-3 and 1, a 916 save percentage as well, 2.29 goals against average. 2 good options. Either one should be successful against this Nashville Predators team. Looking at the Nashville Predators individual statistics side, Forsberg leads the team in scoring, 16 goals, 20 assists for 36 points. That 16 goals leads the Nashville Predators. The captain, Roman Josi, leads with assists, 22. Add 10 goals to that now for 32 points on the season. Matt Duchene has 11 goals and 19 assists for 30 points. Mikhail Granlund, 4 and 21 for 25, and Nino Niederreiter, 12 and 10 for 22. And I went one line again with the Nashville Predators to number 6, and Johansson has 9 and 11 for 20 points, the same exact stat line as Calle Jarnkrok has for the Toronto Maple Leafs. UC Saros in net continues to improve. His record continues to improve his numbers. 15, 10, and 5 on the season, 921 save percentage, 2.67 goals against average. Again, that 921 save percentage, he had a below 9 save percentage in the month of November. It's highly impressive to see where he is at right now, and he's continuing trending in an incredibly good direction with his first shutout of the season against the Ottawa Senators. Again, we'll recap that game in its complete detail coming up here in just a matter of seconds. That gets you all set for the Nashville Predators' 4th game out of 5 games on this road trip into Toronto, into the heart of something that is going to be a very difficult game to play against. Nashville Predators are going to have a tough time in Toronto, but they had to go to Carolina, had to go to Washington. Those are 2 tough buildings to play in, and Ottawa has been a very difficult team to play against as of late. The Nashville Predators on this road trip seem to be doing something very, very right. They've managed to claim 6 out of 6 points, 3-0 on the road trip, 4-game winning streak overall. Rebirth Sports full game recap coming up next.